is experiencing like actual persecution right now.
It's located in the very heart of the Muslim world.
But in the same way, there was this massive situation with regards to Ukraine.
Ruslan.
Some of you guys know this, some of you guys don't know this about me. My ethnicity is Armenian. If you guys don't know anything about Armenia, you should go watch my interview with my brother Arthur from the Apologia Center. We have a very rich history to the point where Bartholomew, the Apostle Bartholomew, Jude, went to Armenia, planted a church there that's thrived 2,000 years later. Now, that's also created some tension by the Muslim nations in the region. Everything around Armenia are Muslim nations. Turkey, which committed the 1915 genocide against Armenia. Over 1.5 million Armenians were killed, as well as Syrians. And so that happened in 1915. I lived in Azerbaijan, okay, called the Karabakh region, which there's all kinds of historical Armenian churches. I'm talking churches that are 2,000 years old that go back to these apostles, right? In my interview with Arthur from the Apologia Center, he talks about going to the gravesite of a disciple of Jude. Okay, so Jude, you know, wrote the book of Jude, the Epistle of Jude. He went to the gravesite of a disciple of Jude. That was in Armenia. Okay, now, I am from Azerbaijan. Me and my family came out because of the pogroms of Baku. I talk in depth about all of this on my interview with Tim Ross that comes out next Tuesday. Really, really deep into my story. Some of you guys don't know it. But I'm sharing all this to say this. This morning, Armenia was attacked again by Azerbaijan. There's, I believe, over 50 casualties. There's over 100 people killed, hurt. And we're in this very precarious situation where Armenia is this little small country. I think it's about 3 million, the population. Azerbaijan is massive, 10 million plus. You have Turkey, which is a massive country. And because of the U.S.'s allegiance to Azerbaijani oil, the relationship with Turkey, one of the main Muslim countries in the Middle East that has an American base, it's the same atrocities and worse as what we saw in Ukraine happening right now in the region of the world where I was born. And there isn't a lot of press about it, unfortunately. I think Fox and NBC covered it. And they covered it, I think those are the two that I've seen covered accurately. And so I'm bringing this as an awareness to you guys. It's a very interesting situation where one of the oldest Christian nations with one of the richest Christian histories is experiencing actual persecution right now. My buddy Arthur also did a video about it with a pastor in Armenia.
When I see other conflicts in the world that people rally around and support, like the Ukraine-Russia situation, that everybody joins hands and supports the cause, especially in the Christian community, and gets the word out, gets the information out, educates the public. But when it comes to Armenia and the issues that take place in Armenia, everybody is very silent, especially the Christian community. And this happens predominantly because of the ignorance that people have about Armenia, where Armenia is, and why Armenia is even important. Or it just happens because of carelessness, because it's not a fad, because, you know, CNN's not talking about it, and Fox News is not talking about it, and MSNBC is not talking about it, and all that stuff. So,
persecution because Armenia is Christian, because it's in this very interesting spot, and there isn't allegiance from the West. And so I think the best thing you could be doing is praying. And then also just, you know, if you see stuff that's showing the information, spread the information. If you know who your congressmen and your senators are, call them, let them know. But in the same way, there was this massive situation with regards to Ukraine and how mainstream that went, and the fact that, you know, Ukraine is still in a war with Russia, America is still funding them.
So I'm going to share a video with you guys from a friend of mine who's on the ground in Armenia, who's a missionary in Armenia, and he will explain the situation. So we're going to listen to Dr. Jacob Persley.
I live in Yerevan, Armenia. It's September 13th. It's 9 in the morning of the year 2022. And I just woke up this morning to find out that the country that I live in here is once again being attacked by Muslim countries, from Azerbaijan backed by Turkey. And I just want to say the importance of Armenia. Armenia is kind of like, for the United States, I would say this is like the second Israel, in the sense that it is a very strategic location. It's located in the very heart of the Muslim world, Turkey to its west, Azerbaijan to its east, and to its south, Iran, and to the north, Georgia, and then the northern Caucasus region of Russia. And this happens to be where its location, one of the only kind of really free democratic nations. It is not like that in Azerbaijan. There's a dictatorship there. Turkey is going towards a new Ottoman style government under Tayyip Erdogan. And these are majority Muslim countries. And here we have this Christian country located in the center of this whole thing. And it's a country that first accepted Jesus and Christianity in the year 301 AD. And it has preserved its faith ever since that time. And it's pretty remarkable how God has protected this country through Islamic invasions, Seljuk invasions, under Soviet suppression of Christianity for all these years. And now there are churches, literally, all of these villages, all throughout here, this country of Armenia. There's churches, people that love Jesus, worship Jesus, they read Bibles. I'm saying this for all my friends back in the States that are in the churches that know me and pray for me, that we literally have churches everywhere. And now they're being attacked once again. And I want you to know that we need prayer. This is a very strategic country for the gospel. And the Christians here need prayer. And also, if you know anybody in government, and again, I asked this last time that we were attacked back on September 27th of 2020 during a 44-day war, I asked that you would write senators, congressmen, and people that you might know to first inform them that there is a country named Armenia that is being attacked by Muslim forces, terrorist forces as well, because they also hired Islamic ISIS terrorists from Syria to come up and attack Armenia to take the heads off Christians. They did that last time. And I asked for you to write them, senators and congressmen, so that they would be aware and that they would do something about that. Again, I'm just saying, same issue again.
We live in a very interesting world, man. And you have our Armenia, who is this amazing, rich country that isn't getting any support really from the West. And it's really sad because it's really impacting people that are very resilient people, very, very resilient people with a really rough history of persecution. It's bad. Yeah, Azerbaijan and Turkey, they say, what is it? One nation, two states is kind of how they describe themselves. My buddy Arthur just got back from Armenia, okay? He just said, I have friends and family exactly where the fighting is going on. So these are you know, me and Arthur were talking about me going to Armenia next year. And so it's wild that the very place he was just at, the very place that we're considering going, that there's wars, you know, and it's completely preemptive attacks for no real reason, right? This, again, small country, no allegiances, not a lot of support from the West, in the middle of two Muslim countries that are its aggressor, historically its aggressor, fighting over Holy Land. This is very significant churches that, again, are going back 2,000 years, going back to the early apostles. This is such a rich history, and it's really sad. And so anyway, if you weren't aware, you should be.
And one more thing to say about this as well is I've been following the Azeri news again today and Turkish news, and everything they say to their people is 100% lies. They said, we don't understand, why is Armenia attacking? Well, of course Armenia is not attacking. It's a tiny country of 3 million people surrounded by 15 million Muslims to the east and 90 million Muslims to the west that both want to destroy them. They're a small developing country with 3 million people. They're not going to be just propagating and attacking and invading any country surrounding them. They cannot do that, okay? One. So the news commentators were like, well, why would they do that? We just don't understand. And because you listen to the Ministry of Defense from Azerbaijan, they're like, oh, Armenia has attacked, they're going in and they're attacking our cities and we're just responding in retaliation. And that's just not true at all. I just want to say this is not a complicated issue. This is, again, for my friends in the United States listening, if you're not Armenian, you need to hear this. There is a clear black and white on this one. Again, Satan has stirred up the Azeris, and they're stirring up the Turkic peoples, again, against Armenia, because Armenia is a Christian nation. There are so many believers all over this place, and people have been coming to faith left and right through the preaching of the Word of God in this country, and there's been changed lives all over this country, and Satan hates this. And the way he does this is to kill, to steal, and destroy, and he stirs up people against God's people. And that's exactly what's happening. It's very cut and dry, but again, we have something we can do about it as United States citizens.
So there are a number of things that I would like to emphasize here. Number one, when you hear news or read stuff on Twitter and Facebook, and you see words like clashes on the border erupt or something like that, these neutralistic kind of sounding nonsense, it's completely false. Azerbaijan is the aggressor here. They just won a war 2 years ago, according to them, that they decimated the Armenian army and stuff like that. Why would Armenia be attacking them? Armenians are the aggressors here. It's very clear that Azerbaijan are the aggressors. It's very clear that they have their eye on the southern part of Armenia, and they want to unify themselves and connect themselves with a region called Nakhichevan, and through that with Turkey. They are much larger in population. Armenia has about 3 million population, and Jacob mentioned the numbers for Turkey and Azerbaijan. And you can do very basic research on the subject and see the sort of stuff that they did to people that they captured. Anything from beheadings, and it's not just soldiers. I mean, beheading old people, where you get these Islamists that jump on top of churches and go into churches and decimate the churches and yell out Allahu Akbar. And then in the comment sections, I'm sure there's going to be some Azeris and Turks that are going to come in there and say, you're lying, this is not a religious war. Well, if it's not a religious war, why are you shouting God is great on top of a church? Why are you guys converting churches into mosques? Why are you bringing in religious terrorists to do your fighting for you? In this part of the world, as I've said in the past, separating politics from religion is extremely difficult. They're almost always connected to one another. And that's very difficult for Westerners and Americans specifically to understand. But that is the reality. So if you would please shift your attention away from Ukraine and Russia just a little bit and pay attention to maybe to you or maybe to the deaf and dumb world, a very insignificant part of the world. Pay attention to my people. Pay attention to the land of my birth. Pay attention to my brothers and sisters.
And it said that Simeon blessed God.